everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and happy Monday. I am here for my weekly WIP and Chat with you guys. If you are new, first off, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here and hope you're doing really well. WIP stands for work in progress, and today I'm going to be working on a diamond painting with you. And chat means that I'm going to be chatting with you for the next hour or so, just talking about life, diamond painting, YouTube, and everything in between. So feel free to pull out a project to work alongside me, whether it's diamond painting or treating this like a podcast if you're being productive around the house like I was earlier today. And yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what I'm working on and with. Everything will be linked in the description box below if you'd like to check out some of these shops. First up, I'm going to be working on the diamond painting Fairy Workspace from the artist Pomichi. This is from Diamond Art Club and came out this past weekend, and I was lucky enough to be sent it as a sneak peek and completed the first half of it to share with you guys in the actual sneak peek video if you wanted to go take a look and see a progress update. I'm gonna yawn. The time change, am I right? I hate it. We'll talk about that more later. Anyway, I'm going to be opening up the next section, starting the second half of this kit. We're over here in this window. We're kind of sideways. You can see the floral string lights hanging down here. So we'll probably have some special drills in the sky back here and stuff, but we're going to go ahead and get this next section started. And then accessories wise, this pen is from Norse Alchemist from a few years back, and I was looking at their shop the other day. They're still open from what I recall. So we've got like pink twine and gold flakes all through this one. Seem to suit this artwork pretty well. And then this tray is from Unimate. Got this like just shimmery pale pink color. I think this is the 2.0 version of their trays. Now they've moved up to their 3.0 version. I'm gonna yawn again. Oh no. I should have gotten some caffeine or something. We'll see how this goes. I might go grab some. Then I'm going to be using Pure Bliss Wax Company wax in my single placer in the scent Nebula Nectar. And then I pulled out this Patsy Putty, the basic line, to use in my multi-placer. I have not used Patsy Putty in a hot second, and I was doing a big clean out of my desk the other day and was trying to pull out some putty and wax that I haven't used in a while, some small shops that maybe I've forgotten about and wanted to try out again and show some love to. So this is from Drills and Chills 2024 when they sponsored. So I pulled this out to go ahead and give a try. Let me grab my multi-placer and clean out the old putty and get it ready to load in some new putty, and we will be off to the races. The fun part was when I was cleaning out my desk, I found a couple of, well, actually just one that was usable. I found two metal 12 placers that had ended up, they'd like fallen in the bottom of one of my desk drawers. One of them is bent. I think it's the only metal multi-placer I've managed to bend to the point that it's not like as functionally usable anymore. I have 4 or 5 others that I kind of will just rotate between, but yeah, this was the non-bent one, and this putty, that whatever was in here is so dry. I can't tell. I think looks like maybe, I feel like I vaguely recognize this as maybe Butterfly Effect Wears putty, but it's been in there probably for at least a year, so I don't blame it for drying out. Let's see, how loose is this? Pretty. Okay, so let's add some washi tape onto the end of the multi-placer to help it fit the pen a little bit better. You can use washi tape like this to add just a little bit of like a width to this basically, and it will then fit in here. Well, it needs a little bit more actually. Different pen companies will turn, or pen turners will turn them differently, and you might need like more or less washi tape. You could also use hot glue. I do not feel like pulling out my hot glue gun for this though. When washi tape will really work just as well. That, I feel like it needs even more. Yeah, it does vary. The metal multi-placer is from Diamond Art Club. The 12 placer is the biggest that they go up to at the moment, I believe. And I feel like they were kind of testing out modifying their multi-placers slightly and like adding some extra metal and an angle here to help prevent bending, but I haven't actually seen if they've done that with the 12 placers and if those have come out yet, but I'll have to keep an eye out. If you guys see that, like if you buy a 12 metal multi-placer from Diamond Art Club, if you see them, if you get one and see that they've updated them, please let me know, because I don't want to, I like bought one a couple months back thinking that it might be updated and it wasn't. And I could have messaged them to ask, but did I? No. But if you guys happen to see them put out updated 12 placers, let me know. I would love to try that out when I do, or when they do, if and when. Okay, so Patsy Putty, loading it up. I just take it off screen briefly so that I could get it on more of a firm surface, because when I'm diamond painting, I actually lay out a piece of, like a giant piece of cardboard to diamond paint on to give me relatively flat surface, but when I'm actually trying to load in putty, I need like something really firm to push against. I have to put something under my diamond painting when I am diamond painting, because I have a like unfinished like raw wood table, that kitchen table that's very textured. I've never used this wax. All right, let's go. And I can feel the textures if I'm just putting my canvas straight on my kitchen table. And I didn't clean this out first. That's why I did that. I am a hot mess today. I'm telling you what, that time change completely left me in a brain fog. So let me clean this out. Good grief. Just look. You would not know that yesterday I put up a whole video talking about wax and putty and going through the how-tos and troubleshooting stuff like I'm some kind of expert, and here I'm making a big old mess. So just ignore me. Anyway. All right, much better ish. Now, I am someone that likes wax in my single placer, putty in my multi-placer. But you guys, there's not a wrong or a right way to go about diamond painting. You do whatever works for you. I just find that this works for my style of diamond painting a little bit more. And I finally pulled together some coherent thoughts in one place and put up this video today, which today is Sunday, by the way, talking about wax and putty. This has been a very, very long requested video of mine, just kind of covering not just the how-tos, like how to load up your pen with one or either, but also how to figure out what kind of wax or putty to use, like how to decide like what should you start with, what should you try, and troubleshooting common issues. Like the most common one I see that come up is, what do I do if my wax or my putty is too soft? And so I really hope that video was helpful, and appreciate the feedback that I've gotten on it so far. Thank you guys. And just ignore me yawning again. Sorry if I'm making you guys yawn like crazy, but yeah, I had managed to get all the way through the month of February with no how-tos or tutorials done, which was not at all what I had intended. I originally had in my head that, well, for the year in general, I wanted to do more how-tos and tutorials, especially refreshing some videos on topics that I maybe did videos on 5 or 6 years ago, but I can do an updated take on them since it's, this many years later. I have a little bit more experience under my belt. There's new products on the market, that kind of thing. And so when I set those goals for 2026, I sort of tentatively had in my mind that, well, maybe I could do one a month. That could be a really manageable goal to set for myself. I set a similar personal goal where I thought I wanted to try one new recipe each month this year. I thought that would just be very manageable. But I don't totally understand what happened, but the month of February just came and went in the blink of an eye. I feel like I got nothing done in the month of February. It's actually extremely frustrating. It kind of feels like February was just this big old, I don't know, like I had so much else that I wanted to try to get done and I just didn't. And that included things like I did not try a new recipe during the month of February. I did not make a real like how-to tutorial video in the month of February. So I'm going to try not to let that, well, I'm not just going to try. I have not let that completely throw me off course, for the rest of the year, because I went ahead, I made a new tutorial video. So March, check. And then I am going to flip through my recipe book this week, my new recipe book this week, and try to pick out something new to try. Maybe when my mom is going to be in town in a couple of weeks, and so maybe while she's here, maybe we'll try something new out together, because it's like a little bit less intimidating to try something new, like a new recipe, when I know you've got like someone else to kind of figure it out alongside you. So maybe I'll have her be a guinea pig with me. So anyway, if you haven't watched that video, I would absolutely love your feedback if you're so inclined. I'm hoping that it's going to be helpful for people that are brand new to the craft, as well as even if you're a seasoned crafter and you're just trying to figure out, why won't this particular product work for me? Or I'm interested in trying a new product and seeing if I have any suggestions. I thought it was really fun to actually pull out some cornstarch and play with that and mixing it in with putty in that video. The thing is that I had heard a lot of people talk about using, and by a lot of people, I mean Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights had told me about how she used cornstarch to thicken up putty that was too soft. And for at least a year, I've been meaning to try this out for myself. And so I finally did, because I thought I'm not going to talk about it in this video if I haven't actually tried it out. And I'm also curious enough to try it because I have some putties that just are too soft for me to use in the summer, and that makes me sad. So surprised to see how well it worked. It's not a magic fix, but it makes putties that are otherwise like borderline unusable in heat and humidity actually usable. And so I feel like it's something you can use to salvage your products. Like if you're testing out different putties and it's like, well, you've bought this, you don't just want to throw it away. Here's a way that you can still make it usable, you know? So you guys will have to let me know if you give that a try and if you have any luck with it. This kit, let's talk about this kit. This has been so enjoyable to work on. I cannot believe how fast it has gone, and it's also been the kind of kit that I have wanted to reach for a lot, and I spent a lot of hours on it last week in between filming the unboxing video on Monday morning and then kitting up all 84 colors Monday afternoon. And then I was just off to the races. I think there was one day in there where I think I diamond painted for 6 or 7 hours total that day. I'm like, man, in like circa 2020, I was diamond painting this much virtually every day. And I don't diamond paint that much a day anymore, just for a variety of reasons. And it was fun. And surprisingly, it didn't bother my shoulder. I think that I've got more to say a little bit, just update about my shoulder injury, but that we'll talk about in a little bit. But I was just going to say, one or two of you asked about it actually, and no, diamond painting as much as I did on this one did not aggravate my shoulder. It's different muscle groups, different parts that seem to be, I don't know, being worked out. But yes, this kit was so much fun to work on, but I did go very hard on it all the way up until Friday, and then the sneak peek went up and I thought, I now am itching to go ahead and go back to Persephone, which is the other WIP that I have going. It's the kit Persephone by Roy Trin from Diamond Art Club. It is unfortunately discontinued. I'm sorry, you guys. But rainy day stash kit for me, and one that I had started in February for Fairy Tales and Folklore, which, by the way, my plan is to have a wrap-up video for the event up here on my channel this week, so stay tuned for that. If you're wondering about who won prizes for week 4, I'll have all that info for you guys. But I had basically tabled that kit so that I could see how much I could get done on this one before the sneak peek went up. And once Friday was over and that video was up, I was like, actually, now I'm ready to go back to Persephone. So pulled that one out, totally different color palette. And I don't know, you guys, there is something that was really nice about having multiple WIPs going and being able to flip-flop between them. I did finish Persephone, though, earlier today. Almost finished it last night, but between the time change and everything, I would have had to stay up just way too late. I was already up too late as it was, it felt like. So I finished it this morning, and oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She's so so pretty. Amazing kit. And enormous too, 70 by 105 centimeters. Just a really, really big kit, but so worth it. Probably, I guess it's going to be pretty high on my list of favorite finishes this year, but I'm also kind of riding that giddy high that comes with having just freshly finished a kit. So I don't know, that could very well change. I might go, the color palette and the confetti, actually, I'm not looking back on it as fondly. I don't know. We'll find out. And this kit, the colors are so happy. I haven't touched it in a few days, so I'm like just giddy being back to it. But next up, I really want to work on something that's not a Diamond Art Club kit, because not even necessarily because of you guys. I've gotten pretty minimal feedback from people being like, can you work on something that's not a DAC? You're going to try out any new shops soon? I hear you. I have some new shops on the way, and also a couple that I haven't actually tried out yet. And so I would like to really try to see if I can have my next kit be mixing it up. Something that's not a DAC kit. So I might try to dig through some of my mini sets to pick one out to do for Mini DP Madness. I'd love to join in on that event and support those gals. There's also Mermaids and Magic, which is right up my alley in terms of theme. And so possibly something that works for that. But I don't want to go too hard on event stuff, because if I try to go too hard on doing a lot of event stuff, I risk burning myself out. There's also the Stoke Your Dragon Fire event. I don't know if I'm really feeling any dragon-y kits like right this very second, but I'll see. I'll see what I have in my mini sets collection, see if something really jumps out at me. But we'll see. There's lots of good possibilities, I feel like. This past weekend's releases, I did snag the Marigona Suli. I cannot believe how fast the DAC new weekend releases sold out. It was crazy. I debated trying to get the Geneva Bowers, but then I was like, let me just stick to the one. It's a partial, and it's Marigona Suli. I'm coming very close to going ahead and breaking my streak. I've been working really hard on putting together a kind of brutal destash, because I'm very much in a decluttering mood. I'm trying to figure out what kits I can maybe phase out, and I just have an awful lot of like Christmassy Marigona Suli room kits that I just don't know if I'll ever get to all of them. I don't know. That's one artist I have not broken my streak of having everything from, but I think it would be good too. Like, I don't want to be stuck in a rut of feeling like I have to have everything from a particular artist. I always start out with that mindset when it's like a new artist to a company. Like when Margaret Morales first signed at DAC, I was picking up everything that they got from her. Similar with Mrs. Butterdee and Chrisabug, but then there's always something that I go, well, I love this artist's work, but this piece just isn't speaking to me on the same level. And my gosh, honestly, the freedom that comes from not feeling like you have to be a completionist collector is great. Helps with the overconsumption, helps with the FOMO. Highly recommend. Highly recommend it, you guys. So I feel like enough is coming out from Marigona Suli that I can start to be pickier, if you know what I mean. But that partial, the dragons in the window, that was a no-brainer. I love that one so much. It's just so happy. It's just way too... It's dragons and books. Like, that's... how could I possibly say no? Even the color palette. I know it's a lot of neutrals and everything, and I saw some people saying that the neutral color palette really wasn't their cup of tea. And I'm really like, hey, you know what? If you find ways to make it work for your budget and it's like, oh, this doesn't work for me because of that, more power to you. It's like a built-in way to be able to help save money, and not fall right into that FOMO little trap. So, but yes, I did manage to grab the Suli, and I already got my shipping notification, so I'm really excited for that one. That was one of those that along with Fairy Workspace, were going to be cry. I'm exaggerating, but like cry if I don't have them level. I had my gift card that I still had some left on, so that helped too. But yeah, so it feels like it's been kind of an eventful weekend with all these different things going on, finishing projects, putting together a video. It was honestly kind of a little outside my comfort zone, because whenever I'm doing something that's more of a how-to or tutorial, I spend a lot more time on videos like that. I do a lot of sitting down and brainstorming and taking notes and trying to think through how I want to structure and format it in a way that's really beginner friendly and is coherent. And I don't know, like, I know that I think that most people that are looking for really short, snappy, short form content, like a la TikTok, are not going to be looking on YouTube for these videos anyway. But there's part of me that's like, I don't want to have like a ton of dead air, or be just talking about nothing forever and ever. That's what these WIP and Chats are for. But I also, when it came down to it, as I was editing it, I'm like, I know this is a half an hour long, but I just personally am not seeing anything I want to cut out even more. I mean, I did edit out some stuff and tried to, I wanted it to feel like it made sense and like it was helpful. And I hope it was that. But yeah, it was a productive weekend, I guess, in that sense, with that going on, with finishing my other WIP and all that good stuff. How was your weekend, though? What did you get up to? I always enjoy Sunday, winding down, kind of decompressing and resetting for kicking off the upcoming week. Just feels it's like part of my rhythm and routine now. I always look forward to this. At this point, I don't even know whether to tell my husband, like, well, it's Sunday night, I'm going to sit down and film a WIP and Chat. And sometimes he'll be like, yeah, I know you do it every Sunday night. And sometimes he'll be like, wait, what are you doing? So it's part of our routine now. Let me take a look at my notes. But speaking of the weekend, can I do my semi-annual? Would you call it semi-annual or biannual? Because biannual sometimes means twice a year and sometimes means every other year, right? Like, it's kind of one of those weird words.
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Semi-annual means multiple times a year, and it can include 2 times a year. It doesn't have to be more than 2, right?
Like
Adam is sitting with
depends
me.
Depends who you ask is what it is.
Okay. Well.
Because semi means part.
Mm-hmm.
And bi means twice. But so to me, that means semi-annually means not annually, partially annually.
Mm-hmm.
So like
multiple times a year.
Well, that's the thing. You could apply it both ways. So like semi-annually could mean like, well, half the year. Like a semicircle is half circle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's half. So then semi-annual would be, every half a year. So twice a year. But biannual means twice, which could also mean twice a year. But what I've heard is that biannual actually means every 2 years. But I've also heard that's what semi-annual means. So
no, see, semi-annual I think is happening multiple times within 1 year, and I know this in the context of semi-annual sales are really common, and it's usually like, like Bath and Body Works always does a semi-annual sale.
Biannual just to me sounds like bi meaning 2. Mm-hmm. So I would think twice, but no, 2 as in every 2.
But it can also mean twice a year. I'm saying
not actually. It means like less.
Right. So this has been your guys'...
To me, that would mean less often, not less than a year. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So here's your guys' semantics lesson for the day. Not semantics.
Is one of these correct and everyone else is wrong? Or does everybody just make up their own rules? That's what I want to know. Leave a comment.
Or has it morphed to the point that the way that the word literally has, which that actually really bothers me, that people have incorrectly used the word literally so much that like Merriam-Webster is changing or has like basically they've added another variation to the definition of the word because
which is so annoying.
It's so annoying. It's not what the word means.
Like normally, I understand the evolution of language, but the problem is that people have used literally incorrectly so much that you can't say it for its meaning anymore. It actually means it has two definitions, and those definitions are diametrically opposed.
It's very frustrating.
Which means the word now is meaningless, and there's not really what's another good word for literally.
I don't.
We've lost a useful word in the English language.
I overuse the words genuinely and sincerely almost to, like, it's not even, they're not even perfect replacements, but I find myself using those a lot when I want to use, like, for emphasis and be like, no, I'm serious. But anyway, so.
Like a drunk girl. Seriously.
No, seriously. So circling back to what I was talking about, this is my semi-annual. I complain about this twice a year is what I'm saying. The time change. Obligatory. I need to rant about how stupid the time change is. And I don't even, at this point, I don't even care which one we settle on. I like one or the other, just pick one I want to stop changing. I don't know if I don't care if we're on daylight savings or not. Just like stop changing it twice a year. I don't care. Sure, fine, on. I don't care. You cannot get me to care. I just want it to stop. I need someone to stop the madness. I hate the time change. This is the most passionate I have been in a WIP and Chat in weeks. Oh, is that the mosquito? A mosquito just landed. This mosquito I was trying to kill earlier literally just landed on my fingertip, and now it's gone. Now it's not a problem anymore. Okay, well, there's that. I hate the time change. It thankfully, praise be, our kids are old enough that it does not destroy our lives via our children anymore. But like, I feel like trash. I feel terrible. Like, there's all of these studies, all of the scientific evidence, everything backs up that it is actually harmful to like our bodies and to society. Like, can we just get rid of it? But that would imply that like, nope, not going to go there. Definitely not going to go there. It was on the ballot in the state where we live. It was weird. It was like on the ballot that we voted on, that we wanted to be able to vote on it. It was weird. It was really, really weird. I'm in California. This was a few years back.
That we wanted to vote.
Yeah, like it was something really strange like that. I'm not kidding. We didn't vote to like, okay, let's get rid of daylights or get rid of the time change. It was just like, we're voting that we want to be able to vote on it. So make it make sense. I don't know. And nothing has happened since then. So, but can we just do it Arizona? Arizona's like, we're not doing that. You guys have fun. Now we're officially on the same time zone as my parents. So that's great. Anyway, anyone else get irrationally angry about the time change and how much it just messes with your life? And it just feels wrong. Like for weeks, it's just like, I look outside, I'm like, my body is telling me it's 4:00, but the clock and my children are telling me it's 5:00 and it's time for dinner. And I can't reconcile it. So anyway, spring forward especially sucks because you lose that hour of sleep. And the jump scare, I was awake when the clock changed last night, and like watching it jump from 1:59 to 3 a.m. I was like, whoa, I need to be asleep like an hour ago. I was doing my usual procrastination game of agonizing over my thumbnail for that video that went up today talking about wax and putty. This is always how it goes. I film, I edit, and I start putting together the description, and I'll start to like turn off the light to roll over and go to bed, and I go, crap, I didn't do the thumbnail. I always leave it for last. And this is actually, sorry, I just smacked the camera. Arguably, this is the wrong way to go about things because the thumbnail is what actually will grab people's attention as they're scrolling, like even more probably than like your title or anything else. So I should be making more of a priority out of that, but I am forever and always fighting my nature of procrastinating hardcore on stuff. So anyway, that's why I was up that late. We had been really trying to move our bedtime earlier. We were doing so well for like a chunk of January and February, and I feel like we both were so much more functional. Like during the day, we were sleeping better. My mental health feels so much better. That's the other reason I think I'm really upset about the time change this week, is that I was between hormones and some other stuff that was going on. I was just having a really crappy few days in terms of my mental health. And then the time change happened, and I was like, this is just the worst possible time for this time change to be happening. I feel like I've found a new equivalent of saying the Q word. The context for this is that stereotypically, if you work especially in medical fields or like other emergency fields, the rule is you never say things like, gosh, it's so quiet tonight. And this I've seen extended to other parts of my life. It's like, you never talk about, oh, it's so nice how calm and quiet things are. Like, that's inviting chaos and disaster into your life. We don't do this. You never say, oh, it's so nice and calm and quiet. We never do that. I feel like I've discovered the new equivalent of that. And that was, I went into my weekly therapy on Thursday morning and was talking to my therapist and saying, yeah, I just feel like things have been going decently well lately. I feel like I've been more regulated, like in different situations. I feel like I felt more level. I felt kind of a little bit better, a little bit more like positive about things and stuff. And then like things just kind of took a turn the past couple of days ever since then. And I went, is this the new thing? I don't go into my therapist and say, I think I deserve an A+ in therapy this week because I think I'm doing so well. Like, I'm just going to remove that from my vernacular. Oh man. But you know what? It's turning up. It's going to be fine. But yeah, this was not my favorite, I don't know, week in terms of like mental health and stuff. And the time change just made me even grumpier about it. So I don't know, you guys. I hope you are handling things a little bit more gracefully than I've managed to the past several days. And we're just going to keep taking it one day at a time. And that's accepting that our best is enough, right? Right. Please be kind to yourself, friends. So that's my complaining about the time change and my warning to never go to your therapist and talk about how great you're doing. I also thought I'll go ahead and give you an update here about my shoulder and seeing my doctor. So the long story short is that, just give you context leading up to this if you're newer, I had a shoulder injury that I managed to get at a diamond painting retreat last summer. It was a repetitive motion injury, like shoulder bursitis kind of thing from too much diamond painting, quite literally too much diamond painting in a really non-ergonomic kind of setup. I went to physical therapy for a couple of months in the fall, got all healed up, and was basically feeling better. Not really having pain almost at all. Then I decided to try to screw a mounting bracket for a new smoke detector into my son's ceiling. I was too lazy to go and get the power tools to drill it into the ceiling, and instead decided that I wanted to just pure muscle it in by hand. And that twisting motion, like overhead, like pushing really hard, I completely messed up my shoulder again. I had thought that I basically had re-injured or caused like a flare-up in the same area, and gave it a little time to see if it would heal up on its own, and it did not. So after the new year, I contacted my doctor. We had an initial appointment. She said, are you doing your physical therapy exercises? I gave her a sheepish look, and she said, okay, set an appointment for a month from now. Do your physical exercises for the next month, and then come back. We'll meet in person, and we'll talk. So that's the appointment that was this past week, was it's been a month of doing physical therapy exercises, come in person, do kind of an exam there, and then we'll figure out where to go from here. I was not honestly noticing a huge difference with doing my exercises. I was noticing that the exercises themselves were getting a little bit easier to do, and I was getting a little bit of better range of motion just during the exercises themselves. But I was still finding myself with really limited range of motion in a lot of my day-to-day and significant pain depending on what I was doing. And so I had already kind of started to suspect, like, is there something else maybe going on here? But that was the good thing about doing those exercises for a month, is I was able to come back to my doctor and say, I did these, and no, I'm not really noticing a huge difference. So she did a few like hands-on, had me do a couple of things, and then she did a couple of things. She's like, okay, now you relax and I'll try to move, this way with your arm. And it definitely went differently than when I originally injured my shoulder. I was like, things that I wasn't able to do before, now I was able to do fine, and vice versa. Particularly, my range of motion is so much more limited now. I cannot really reach behind my back almost at all. Like, I can barely get my hand behind my back with my right arm. It's just too painful. And even overhead, it's kind of limited and whatnot. So she said she really suspects that this is a new injury. So she said she's recommending physical therapy again because it's something new. She, she's the first person to say, this is just my primary care physician, that she's like, I'm not going to try to diagnose exactly what this is. Physical therapy is going to be able to pinpoint where the issue really is. She said she's a little bit suspicious, though, of a frozen shoulder. But she's really uncertain about that because I'm not the age that typically shows up. Because I'm 37, and that's, I guess, something you typically see more in, like, 40s, 50s. So I'm not that far off. But she just said, like, the limited range of motion was a red flag. But a physical therapist is going to be able to really help pinpoint exactly what's going on. There's also some weirdness with, like, some impacts and some, like, jolting kinds of things causes pain that's, like, on a... I feel like I have a decent pain tolerance, too, but, like, an 8 or a 9 out of 10 on a pain scale. Like, for 10 or 15 seconds, it's blindingly painful. Like, trying not to scream kind of painful. So... now we're doing the song and dance. Okay, wait for the insurance authorization to go through, and then schedule a physical therapy. I have no idea if I'll see the same physical therapist as before. I'd really be fine if I did. She was great. But it's through like a rehab center, and so they have like a whole team of different therapists and stuff. So I'll be anxious to get back there and see kind of what they suggest or what they kind of diagnose with like further examination. I asked my doctor if she thought like imaging or anything else would be helpful, and she said, well, given that we think this is a new injury and we don't know exactly like what's going on, I think starting with physical therapy is probably the way to go, especially, she said, because you're someone that's going to actually do the exercises. And I said, yeah, if I'm being scolded and I know I'm going to be held accountable, like I have to go to physical therapy every week, like they're going to know. And I was decent about doing them before when I was actively in physical therapy, but once physical therapy ended, I just kind of let it slide. But yeah, I'm hoping I can figure out what's going on. The nice thing is that at least this time, diamond painting is not causing me any pain. That doesn't seem to be, and that kind of reinforces that this is, I think, a different injury, and maybe just the muscles were weakened from the past injury, or just from other things going on. Maybe I just don't have the best muscle stuff. I don't know. I don't really know, you guys, but back to physical therapy I go. I'll keep you guys posted. And yeah, I'm, like I said, glad that diamond painting doesn't irritate it. You know what though cross stitch does? I pulled out my cross stitch earlier today and was stitching just a little bit, and I decided, let me just see if I stitch right-handed for a little bit. No, 5-10 minutes tops of stitching right-handed, and I was experiencing some pain. It's mostly in my upper arm. Like, I keep referring to it as being in my shoulder, but I'm experiencing most of the pain in more of like my upper arm. But it seems like the source of that injury, my doctor still thinks, is maybe in the shoulder. I don't know. But if this is like ringing a bell for any of you guys and you're like, does Katie want me to give like my thoughts or input? Yeah, no, feel free to sound off in the comments. I know all the disclaimers. You're not a doctor or whatever. Maybe you are a doctor. I don't know. But you're not my doctor. But you could still share if you have experiences or thoughts or something sounding familiar and ringing a bell. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to be offended or anything like that, you know. We're gonna get into, look at all this color blocking. This is delightful. I just a random side note, I have not been running into glue issues with this kit. I did feel like the glue on that Yume that I unboxed a couple weeks ago felt a little bit thin to me, but this kit has been fine. It has not felt any different to me to work with than any other DAC kit that I've worked on, but I'm still kind of keeping an eye out because I've just heard a lot of people talking about concerns with the glue recently, and I want to make sure that if I'm noticing something and I can like take video or pictures or something to send to DAC just to hopefully add to whatever else you guys are sending too if you're having problems. I want to be a part of the solution and let them know if I'm noticing anything too. So, but yeah, the color blocking in this kit has just made it go so fast. Diamond Art Club also recently started changing over their drills to all be 15 facet. It's like they had switched over to having drills that were like 20 something facet. They all came up to like little pyramids at the top. They were kind of pokey. Some people loved them, some people hated them. I didn't have strong feelings. But now they're switching over to, they look flat on top, but they're more faceted than like the old squares that were like 9 and 13. These are still more faceted than that. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just here for a good time. I just want to diamond paint. And as long as the drills are good to work with and they look nice when they're down, I'm happy. So, and that's check for me with this one. Let's get a whole big old tray of white fairy dust diamonds and see how much of this white color blocking we can get through before the end of this WIP and Chat. This putty is working great for this. Man, that pop, hello. I should check out and see what Patsy Putty is doing. So all I have from them are fall themed scents, and it might be nice to mix it up with some others. I also have a couple of shaped putties from them. I have one that's shaped like a dragon or a dragon's egg, and I cannot bring myself to actually like destroy it just to diamond paint with. I can't do it, you guys. So I just need the like plain bricks like this one because I don't feel any hesitation about actually using it. So yes, that's kind of the updates on shoulder and stuff like that. I guess I'll keep you guys posted, but like I said, just glad it's not throwing a wrench in my actual diamond painting. Let's see what else has been going on. Since we got back from Arizona, our pets really, those first couple of days had us, I'm saying they were making us pay penance. It was really something. Scout he's always kind of clingy, honestly. He was next level clingy, and he still is pretty reluctant to let Adam out of his sight. If Scout is outside, like in our backyard, like just he'll go out there to play a lot and just hang out and stuff. Loves being outside. And if he sees through the glass Adam going up the stairs, he'll instantly want to come inside so that he can follow Adam up the stairs. And so I know, I'm like, if Adam's gonna go upstairs, I'm like, the dog's he's just gonna know. He's gonna know. The cat even made us pay penance our first night back. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and Skip was yowling outside of Connor's bedroom door. Now, we leave Connor's bedroom door open until we go to bed, so if Skip wants to go in there and sleep with Connor for a little bit, he doesn't usually try to wake Connor up when it's in, like, the evening. But Skip will try to go in there in the morning, and he was, for a while there, he was waking Connor up at, like, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like basically as soon as the sun was up, Skip was in there like, all right, time to start the day, my favorite little buddy. So we started closing the door, and Skip would pretty much just sleep in our bed with us. But he was mad enough about us having been gone that he was yowling at Connor's door at 5 a.m. until, well, I woke up. Adam was like sleeping through it initially. And I like went to go get Skip, and I, got his attention, let him back into our room, and had him hop up in the bed. And I was just petting him, and I was like, I'm so tired. And I start dozing off. And basically, as soon as I stop petting Skip because I've dozed off, he hops down off our bed and goes right back to Connor's door and starts back up again. And I'm just like, dang it. No. So I go and get him again. I'm trying to give him a bunch of attention, and then I'm tired. So here I am. I'm dozing off again. And then Adam woke up at one point and took over trying to like keep Skip happy. And then finally at like 6:30, I tried to like crack open Connor's door for Skip to be able to go in there, because I thought maybe he won't wake up Connor if I just let him in there. And it's not too early if he does, but Connor popped up as soon as I started to open his door and got up. And then Skip just meow, meow, meow. It's very, very, very sweet. But we were so tired from our travel day that we were just like, Skip, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. This is just not going to fly. But the next night, he was a little more chill, back to his normal self, but still very, very clingy. Yeah. And also Scout, I don't know if it's because we're kind of moving out of winter and into more like warmer spring weather a little bit. I don't know if he's just blowing his coat or what, but he is shedding so much. He sheds a lot in general, but it just feels like it's been worse the past few days. My allergies have been really bad. He sleeps in his crate at night, but then when the kids get up for school, we usually will let him out and like let him outside and stuff. And then when we go back to bed after we take the kids to school, usually Adam and I will grab a couple more hours of sleep, and then we let Scout jump on the bed with us, and he'll sleep with us for those couple hours. And I've just been feeling like my allergies from that have been having a really rough time. We have an air purifier in our room and stuff, but even still, a little bit of trash right there. Okay. I just feel like my eyes are itching, and it's a whole thing. And I could vacuum twice a day and still find dog fur. It's wild. I had gone like multiple days. I hadn't even gone, I don't think, a full week without vacuuming the upstairs. Again, rough mental health week, right? This past week. So I hadn't gotten to vacuuming the upstairs. So I vacuumed it today, and I kid you not, I filled up, we have one of those like Dyson stick vacs. I filled up the canister for just our upstairs, which is 3 small bedrooms. Like the kids' bedrooms cannot fit anything bigger than a twin bed in them. It's just not that big. Vacuuming the carpet, I filled up the canister 3 times and had to empty it 3 times. He's shedding so much. I would love any pet owners, if you have a tool that you like to use on furniture, like bedding, like our blanket, and couches and stuff like that. If there's a reusable lint brush or some kind of similar tool that you like, please leave your recommendations in the comments. I have a standard run-of-the-mill lint brush that we use for our clothes and stuff, but that just, it's not practical to do like our whole comforter with or the couch with. I just, it's doesn't seem like it's very cost effective or practical. So if you guys, there's a million different tools like when I look on Amazon. So I know many of you are pet owners and probably have great recommendations for what your favorites are. So please let me know. I would be so grateful. But I also want to get him a brush, like something that works for his coat. And I think if we like brush him outside, maybe that could help with minimizing some of the shedding. We can't really swing like taking him to a groomer or something like that right now, but if we can do something at home that's like sustainable that we can keep up with, then yeah, like we'll go that route. But the dog fur everywhere, it's just tufts. It's just tufts of dog fur. And I almost have to use a vacuum to get it, because when I try to just sweep it, it just floats halfway across the room when I try to sweep it up. Oh my gosh. So never a dull moment with these ridiculously delightful animals. Yeah. So there's that. I also did manage to get a little bit of productivity in where I cleaned out my desk. I've been feeling continue to feel kind of overwhelmed by clutter, and so I'm trying to break it down into manageable steps and things, and just sort of the whole analogy of if you have a giant mountain of laundry, like a literal mountain of laundry in front of you, and I'm using the word literally correctly here. If you have literally a giant pile of laundry in front of you, where do you start? Start with what's at your feet. Start with what's in front of you. Start somewhere and just do it a little bit at a time. So that's how I'm trying to approach bigger projects with regards to like decluttering and trying to neaten things up. So I tackled my desk area. It took me a couple hours the other night to try to go through. I was trying to go through and figure out what accessories and things I could see myself getting rid of. I was also trying to go ahead and organize things like my wax and putty, both for the video I was going to do and also, like I mentioned earlier, to sort of rediscover shops or products that I maybe had forgotten about because it got buried. And so that, I felt good about getting that done. We'll see what I can get to this week. There's some things I want to try to do, maybe in Connor's room, because my mom will be visiting soon, and when she stays with us, she typically will stay in Connor's room, and Connor loves to do a sleepover on the air mattress on the floor of our room. He thinks it's lots of fun. So, yeah. So that's what's on the brain. Now, as far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, my dear, it sounds like your allergies are having a rough time over there.
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
Sniffling.
No, you're good. I'm being sympathetic here. I'm doing my reading and watching and listening to segment. Do you have anything that you want to add for this one this week?
I'm watching Resident Alien for the first time. Having a great time. I'm in season 2.
All right. And you know what that makes me think of? Because Alan Tudyk is in that show. Listen. Any Firefly fans, are you losing your minds too? Look.
Temper your expectations,
I am
people.
tempering my expectations. Nathan Fillion, in case you missed it, Firefly, Serenity, delightful TV show and movie that is a little bit of a tragedy because the fans rallied to save it. Too late, but just delightful space western. If you haven't seen it, if you like that kind of genre, you've already watched it. So, but Nathan Fillion, in case you somehow missed it and are a fan of the show, has been teasing something with all of these different Firefly original cast members for days. And I guess the announcement's coming on March 15th. He's come out and said it's not going to be an announcement for a convention, or there's like 2 other things he said it's not going to be. But unfortunately, I'm with Adam and trying to temper my expectations and be like, they're not going to do a revival. Like, I just don't know that it would work. I'm like, are they going to do maybe like a graphic audio or some kind of graphic novel and comic? I don't know. But I'm just going to try to be happy for maybe anything fun Firefly themed. But I had said, if Alan Tudyk is in one of these, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Because no spoilers, but just come on. So there's that. And Adam reminded me of it by mentioning the show he's watching is Alan Tudyk is in it. He's just a ridiculously talented voice actor. It's just fantastic. I feel like Hey Hey is going to be the thing that most sticks out in my mind from his portfolio. It's just so funny imagining Alan Tudyk in the recording booth making these Hey Hey sounds from Moana, in case you don't have kids and aren't Disney immersed. Anyway, anything else, Adam, for your reading, watching, or listening to?
No, nothing that I feel is really worth highlighting.
Fair enough. You did say that AMC is going to be showing Kiki's Delivery Service.
That's right. It's part of their Ghibli festival, they call it, where they're re-releasing everything periodically in order in IMAX.
You took Connor to see Princess Mononoke, right? Was that the one? Yeah. I bet he would.
Something else? I thought we saw another one too, but maybe not. No. But I'm very interested in Kiki's Delivery Service because I've never seen it.
You've never seen it. That's right. It's good. So cute. You didn't take him to see Howl's Moving Castle, did you? I don't think you did.
No, I did not. There are some movies coming up that I am very much looking forward to watching. Did they already pass My Neighbor Totoro?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think they must have just passed it, actually.
Oh shoot,
When
he probably would have liked.
to 2002, so they've got a little ways to go when they get to that point, because they're doing these in order. They'll reach The Cat Returns, which I know very little about, except the art looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I
remember seeing that.
The box, like cover or poster, whatever it is, just is so charming to me. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that.
That's so fun. And then the new Mario movie is coming out soon, and I actually Micah's not one that we'll take to movies almost ever. We took him to see I took him to see K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters, and he had a lot of fun. And I think I want to try taking him to see the new Mario movie because he's truly next level obsessed with all things Super Mario. Like the books that we read, the games that he plays on the Switch. Like we've had the Mario movie is currently like free on Fandango at Home, the Fandango at Home app right now, and he was watched it like twice a day for the past few days. He just would eat, sleep, breathe everything Mario. And so the new Mario movie, I'm thinking he would probably just explode from excitement seeing it in theaters. So really tempted to try braving a movie theater with Micah just to see this particular movie. We'll see. For me, for my reading and watching and listening to, you guys, I have just around 5 hours at my current listening speed left in The Way of Kings, which is the first book in the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. And I am so thoroughly enjoying it. You know what? It took me a little while to feel like I was really in the flow of things and absorbing it. And Kate, my friend Kate from Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, had told me, she's like, really the first half of this book is a lot of setup and world building for basically this whole series. And so it may feel kind of slow. And so I was watching she'd done a Way of Kings read along that covered like the first couple of parts of that book. And so I would read all the chapters that were in, one of her videos and read up through there. And then I would watch her read along video. And it was such a helpful recap that I would do this in high school sometimes, especially when I was reading like Shakespeare, like classic literature that I couldn't grasp. I know that SparkNotes and Cliff Notes were considered a big no-no in a lot of ways, but what I would do is I would use them to read. I would read like the SparkNotes version first that I knew what I was about to be reading, and then I would go back and read the actual material, and it would make sense in my brain because it was like, oh, now I just would struggle to sometimes see through the like language and everything, seeing the forest for the trees and all that. And so felt like kind of a similar idea. So I was like, I just want to like listen to these videos, this recap. So it's really settling well in my mind because there's so many names and places and like new magic systems and all kinds of new vocabulary. But I'm really enjoying it. So I'll finish that in the next couple of days. And I will see where I'm at on Libby for the next book. I have one Audible credit available that I could use because I signed up for like a 3-month trial for 99 cents a month for 3 months and set like a little calendar notification for myself to cancel when it's about to be up. But yeah, I think I'm going to want to roll into the next book pretty quickly. And then watching, this I'm going to put under watching and listening to because it was both. But I did watch and listen to the Call Her Daddy podcast that was on just a few days ago with Sarah J. Maas. And as someone that I like the A Court of Thorns and Roses series and Sarah J. Maas's other books largely as a guilty pleasure, I was really curious to like watch this and see just what she might have to announce. Or it was like a 2-hour interviews. There was a lot there, and it was just fun. It was largely very light and fun, and she also just got very real about how she had worked through, I won't get into any like spoilers necessarily, but just some different traumas that she'd experienced in her life and how she worked through them by writing them. It was just an interesting sort of window and perspective into that, and kind of gave me a new appreciation in some ways for it. And having official release dates for the next A Court of Thorns and Roses books is exciting. So I will be reading those when those come out, but I'm also trying not to get my hopes too high, because honestly, some of her more recent books have not exactly been my cup of tea. I don't know. I've been drawn a little bit more to some of her earlier books. Like the first couple of books in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series are my favorites. And having read all of her books, like for me, the Crescent City books, like the first one was my favorite, and I had kind of a disappointing feeling about like the last one, which if you love it, it can totally be a me problem. But then I look back and ultimately I feel like her Throne of Glass series is probably my most favorite of her series in a lot of ways. So I don't know. But if anyone else is a Sarah J. Maas fan and excited for more Court of Thorns and Roses, then yay, go check out the podcast if you haven't already. It was a lot of fun. And then what I've got coming out this week, I will have a wrap-up video for Fairy Tales and Folklore up, announcing our winners and just tying off those loose ends. I also have a couple of post reviews filmed, as well as some unboxings to share with you. I think a couple of sneak peeks from Diamond Art Club that'll be coming out. So yeah, kind of a usual suspects sort of week. But if you haven't already watched my video on diamond painting, wax, and putty, like how-tos, how to figure out which one is best for you, and troubleshooting things, if you are so inclined to go and watch that and share any thoughts and feedback that you might have, anything that you want to add in the comments for suggestions, tips, and that kind of thing, or if there are questions that you want to ask, I would be so very grateful if you took the time to check that out and let me know your thoughts. And I have kept some notes on the various suggestions you guys have given me for other tutorials and how-tos to do this year. But if you haven't had the chance to share suggestions or put in requests for things that you would like to see, please feel free to leave those in the comments of this video or send me an email too. I always appreciate that, but no pressure at all. I'm just so glad that you're here. But that is it, you guys. We almost finished this whole section in just this one video. That's really how fast this piece, just generally speaking, has been going, because there is quite a lot of color blocking. This section, way more than any other section so far. This is exceptionally color blocking heavy, but I am not mad. So I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up while I'm getting this video up and ready for you guys for tomorrow morning. So if you made it all the way to the end, how about we go with a fairy emoji, because this is the Kit Fairy Workspace. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you're doing very well and look forward to reading your comments. Let me know if you like what you were working on, what you've been up to, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. Accessories feedback, I need to check out Patsy Putty again, because this worked fantastically. I would probably compare this to, honestly, Randa's Crafty Corner, which is really up there for me as far as being a really consistent and really well-performing putty, regardless of temperature and climate. So anyway, the wax was great as well. No issues with that. Pen tray, 10 out of 10s all around. So you guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks again for watching. I hope you are doing very, very well, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye, guys.